Ah. What's up, everyone? Is it working? Can you guys hear me? Hello, everyone. One, two, check. Let's get a little audio check in the house. Welcome to the house. Oh. Did you hear that? All right. What's up, everyone? What's up, my boy Josh? We got some people from the Habstrakt live chat over here. It's earlier than my usual live stream time, but it's good to be here. Shout out to my homies at Monstercat for hosting this show. Shout out to my homie Sasha, Monstercat, everyone else at the team. I love you guys. I've been working with them since last June now, and for my first release with them was called Infinite. It came out in June 06, 6th of June 2019, last year. And ever since we got a bunch of releases together. So shout out to all the team, shout out to the huge fan base, been showing so much love. Reddit gang, I see you guys. Shout out to everyone. Alright, so today I'm going to show you how I made that song. Because it was quite an interesting process, you know. So I'm just going to play it first for the not entirely, just a little bit, and then we're going to talk about it. Alright? Let me know if you can hear me well. Let me know if you can hear the audio well, if everything works great or not. If you have any complaint, welcome to the house. Let me know how you feel. Where are you connected from? Salut la France, ça va les cousins ou quoi? Shout out to all my friends, she's in the house. Alright.
I won't feel alone when you hear you hold me close and feeling like and everyone to know, never really know you. Everyone to know, never really know. Everyone I know feeling close.
Thank you for the birthday gift, birthday wishes. The early ones, it's Saturday, not yet. Woo! All right. Alright, so let's see if you have any questions how I made that. Have you got any, do we have any producers in the house? How I made the drums? You want to start with the drums, the bass, the intro? I've got, you know, there's a lot to start. There's a lot to unveil. It's not my birthday yet. It's my birthday Saturday. Not yet. Hi-fi, my boy. Hi-fi, calm down. Don't get everyone excited yet. It's Saturday. I'll be on my Twitch all day probably. A solid chunk of the day. You guys can send me cake then. Let's start by the drums. Very good suggestions. Yes. What's in my drums? So first of all, my projects are very chaotic. I never rename anything. My drums are always on top. What's always going to be on top is going to be my sidechain bus. I have this bus here that has a volume shaper on it. Let me bring the window here. Yeah. So it's a volume shaper that is triggered via a MIDI signal here. So basically every time my MIDI signal is going to hit here, it's going to send a little sidechain, little MIDI message to my volume shaper, which is going to tell this shape basically to trigger. There's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube that will explain that 1,000 times better than me. It's a very, very common way of doing sidechain. I have an extra one here that is basically just a white noise coming out of my just an operator putting out a sidechain that's muted that I use as a little ghost signal whenever I want to use an extra sidechain from like a compressor or something. But let's get to the most exciting, the kick drum. What is the kick drum? Okay, it's called yeah, it's an old kick drum that I've been using in many songs. To be honest, I don't use that many different. I just always tune them differently, and I would always put them in a sampler and resample them and change. I use MIDI. I use sampler for my kicks, which allows me that if I want to change my mind, I can just swap my kick whenever I want. If I think my kick is too low, too high, I can just drag and drop another new sample, change the envelope and everything. Okay, so that's really cool. It gives you a lot of flexibility. You can change the amplitude envelope, you can change the pitch envelope, which I actually did on this one. You see I removed 3 semitones of the pitch envelope. It's a really big difference. Let's see. Not much. And it's just basically a bunch of EQing. Equality that I use a lot. This guy, you'll see me here and there using it. It's a linear phase EQ. It's really cool when you want to be more precise about things, but you'll also see me pull out 3 different EQs for no reason. I will group my drum and my kick and my snare together. And I like to keep my snare super short. Sometimes I'll layer, like in this case, but I barely use any reverb, any release, anything. As you can see, I just blah, cut the signal short. And yeah, there's just 3 layers. I'll just a clap, I guess. Yep. Let's go 2 very strong EQs. Bits of... Sorry, my VST always show up on that other window over there. Stereo Imager, S1 Stereo Imager from Wave. That's a cool one. Just another layer. They're pretty much identical. Just makes you louder. And a white noise. I love to use operator for white noise. You just go to the default operator and you go to the waveform and you choose noise white here. And it gives you this little noise that's really flexible. You can use for so many things. The bassline, the bassline, the bassline! I know, guys. Okay. I'll make this quick and fast. Okay, so kick plus snare equals this. Yeah, super happy. It's not too crazy. Bunch of offbeat snares, some hats. I love to use splice for hat loops, and these are most likely a bunch of loops. See, I kind of mess with them here and there. You can change the pitch, you can change them up and down, but you're not gonna see me use crazy VSTs and techniques beyond mostly just Ableton inbuilt effect and EQs. I'll use 65 EQs if I have to. There's comedies, 5 of them here. Okay, so the bass. Well, there's some cool stuff in my drum though. There's this little thing here. That's a whisper. I usually put that as a hat as well. There's a little gunshot. It kind of adds to the little... Okay, before the bass, the first hit of the song, which is really cool. That's that one. How I made that. Which is... It's the same kind of trick that I used in Movie, my song with Josh Pan. Shout out to my homie Josh Pan. This sound that you hear, this is my girl Pauline Her. Shout out to my girl Pauline Her. I don't know if she's here in the chat today. Hold on, I need to screenshot this. Digicamera, yeah, knock yourself, bro. I like to take whispers from just like leftovers from acapellas. Anything between sentence when someone is breathing. Like you're gonna hear me breathe a lot. Actually, I got that big ass French nose over here. You see it? So those little you take that and you put 1 overdrive, 2 overdrive, 3 overdrive, 1 OTT. I put a little bit of reverb as well, and it makes that super weird sound. That kind of sounds like. Without that, it's just like a... See? This is kind of aggressive and everything. Shout out to my girl, Pauline Her. You know it. She didn't do the vocal. No, we'll get to the vocal. Interesting story about the vocal. I'm gonna show you the original as well from that. She did the vocals on the one. Yeah. Okay. The bass. The bass. The bass. Abby, show me the bass. Le kick qui défonce. Sasha vibes. I love my boy Sasha vibes because we can speak Franglish, and I love Franglish. And that's just an 808 for the first kick. The rest of my sub is gonna be hip hop sub bass. I froze it, but I can show you. I can just pull out a preset for you. It's a default preset from Ableton. Same thing for the main bass. I have it frozen here, but this whole song revolve around layering, tons and tons of layering. I mean tons. There's 4 of them. I don't really do layering usually, and yeah, it kind of worked on this in this case. And when you listen to it like that, it's not that crazy, you know. It kind of sounds a bit weird. You add the sub. The sub is very simple as well, but with the sub, the sub is really, really basic. Okay, so how did I do this main guy here? Because that's a sample. It's still got a bit of EQ here and there. So when you see me add a bunch of EQ, that means that's when I do several passes. It means I get the sound right. I work on something else and I'll go back to this, and I don't want to touch that EQ, so I'll add another one to fix something else. That's why you see me chain a bunch of them. I'm kind of like, I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. Do not probably do this. This is probably using a lot of resources. People in the chat are probably going to be like, but Heavy! You can use the Pro Q something. I know I should. But yeah, it works for me. I mean, and again, you're not gonna see me like preach much here. I'm just gonna show you how I did it, rather than telling you this is the way. You know, this is not the Mandalorian, guys. How to make a gritty synth like that? The layer here has it, so we can take this little guy apart and see what it's made of. All right, what's there? 1, 2, 3, 4 source. That's very, very basic. So okay, I'm gonna remake that for you. I'm gonna remake that on Operator. I'm gonna remake that in Serum, because you can do that with anything. Most of the effects come from what's after that, and again, it's mostly, except for the reverb and a little bit of EQ here, it's mostly Ableton stocks. Operator's cool. It's kind of complex to mess around with all those FM algorithm, but the last one here, it just behaves like a normal synth with 4 oscillators. So you can go to this, the first one here, and choose a saw wave, and put it solo, works better. You can right click on this boy, copy oscillator to all others, and then you can start detuning it with the fine tune here, you know. Which is pretty much the same thing. You don't have a detune button like you would have in Serum. This is why I love Serum for that, is you have this massive crazy detune that you can apply on both oscillators at once. Oh, that's beautiful. See this guy? So that's basically stacking 7. What I just did on Operator is 4. So if you wanna, this whole number of clicks would just amount to this here. Yeah, that's the main bass. No, this little guy has a little octave up, so you can get another octave by adding copy A to B, 1 octave up. Yep. Also, you would make it. But then I don't really use the effects on those VSTs. Again, I trust my inbuilds more than anything. Bunch of really cool tricks that can work well. To add some stereo, the new delay is really great because you can use the ping pong mode and use the time mode, really short feedback, so it doesn't bounce back and forth plenty of times. And a short dry wet, and you can... Sorry, am I not paying attention to you guys? Who's here? Producer's not talking, taking notes right now. Yeah, shout out to my homie Muddy Boy. Alright, you see how much stereo they just added? This with a drive before that. I love overdrive. EQ always. I'll always like scoop 500 on those. Then as a reference, and then find a spot around it. Good old OTT. Saturation, I always put those two together. Pretty much, you know. A reverb that I recommend, all the Valhalla reverbs are great. Where is it? It's not showing up. Oh, some little surprise for you boys. Yeah, that's right. Basically a remake of it, and like, so what I'm trying to show here is not rocket science. It's not like crazy hard, but what was smart about this one was the amount of layering that I did, but also the background elements. So let's see. You have the main one that I just showed you. I would have resampled. It has a little bit of reverb, but not much. See, it's got some reverb tail. Super cool trick on Ableton. You can select the area you want to listen, and if you hit Alt play, it will only play the section that's selected. It's really cool when you just want to hear this, you know, or like this. It's I love this trick. And then you have the same one that will duplicate and I drawn in a reverb somewhere. Okay, let's find it. Baby, where are you? Am I not giving you enough love? Such a vibe. Nice shades, bro. I've got some nice shades too. They're from south of France, bro. They're my bad boy shades. They are absolutely not clean at all, but I'll get to the... Okay, one layer full of reverb. Is it this guy? Yep, again, Valhalla Room. Just a full mix on it. That allows me to give a different control on it, on EQing as well. The quality. See, I've only kept this block of it because the signal was like this. Obviously, with the reverb fully on, and then I just EQ'd it again, sidechained it really hard, just to create some stereo effect. And yeah, this one is. It's a very basic, just again filtered. It just felt like it was missing, so you can sometimes just add another layer that just adds it. Oh, this one's pretty. Basic operator, okay. Again, you see that would be like a race. Huh. Yeah, it's just, a bunch of, it's just pretty much the same, duplicated twice, kind of edited, chorus on both to give stereo, reverb and everything. That's what's cool about those, is like put together, plus the sub. Woohoo! Let's go! But also let's mute them for now. Because what's cool about this song to me is not really that much the bass, because that wasn't too, like I said, that wasn't too hard, but it's the background elements, which is nothing here. And then, you hear all the stuff going in at the back? And that's something that's really important that I think is missing sometimes, but also sometimes it's too much of them, so you have to be Be careful and tread lightly. I can't see anything with those, sorry. First one that I love is like you will take a random little sound and put a delay on it and freeze it, and you have sounds like that. Again, a little reverb on it, and then a little auto pan for the stereo if you want. You can have an LFO on it. This is all sent to the sidechain. All of those things that you're hearing here, by the way, pretty much everything you see in the project, whenever you see it says track in, that means that this is being sidechained. So pretty much everything you see is being sent for that one bus of sidechain over there, which has a lot of cool advantages. Like you see, I can echo it, I can bit crush it. Sometimes apparently it's being bit crushed. I can filter it down and just keep the drums basically that are not affected. But yeah, background elements. I like to have small rhythmical one. I like to have like the good old horn sometime. Make sure you tune those. You can use Ableton's tuner, which is a great tool here to keep your stuff in key. I think tuner would work on this, would it? See? F sharp. Boom, there we go. The vocal that I duplicated and vocoded with this signal here, which is just a basic waveform as well. They're pretty much the same synth over there. Not even simpler than that. Just I don't know why. It just sounds cool. What is that guy? Oh, see, I resample that guy as well. And what you can do is you can resample your synth and do stuff like go into your clip, you transpose, you put the little guy complex mode, and you can create those crazy funky ass pitch bend. You know, and that's what I did initially for this one. Stuff like that, you know, for the woo bass. No bass, no bass. Lasagna in your stomach, oh yeah boy. Could we see the master at some time? Yes. It all doesn't really make sense if you don't understand what's going on at the end. My master is very simple. I put a filter earlier just to talk to you, so bye bye. I've got an effect during the build up. That's just basically it's called a washout. It's an Ableton rack that has tons of grain delay, filter, reverb, more delay. It kind of like washes everything and adds some reverb and delay. It's cool for build ups. So you can create an automation here during the build up, beam, and again during the second one. It's a very good tool, get it. And then I got two limiter. I usually work with one. I had a second one at the end to add some punch, but yeah, just 2 limiters. I don't do my masterings myself. I work with a homie that does them for me, because otherwise I could do it myself, but otherwise I would just spend so much time doing it again and again and again. Switching headphones, it was just a headache for me, and it would make me hate my music, you know. So I try to work on my mix downs as much as I can and make the track sound as crazy good as I can using just a limiter that's just gonna affect the volume basically, and then I send it to someone that masters it, that just like kind of makes it a bit, you know, prettier. But I can't do it myself. It allows me to like give up on a track. I'm like, okay, I send it to mastering, I get the file back, and now it knows me really well, so it's great. It sounds great to me. I validate it. I'm like, cool. And that means I don't go back to this project and touch it again. I can move on to new things. I needed that kind of stability in my creative process. Not everybody does. Again, I'm not saying this is the way. It is not the way. The vocals on this track. So when you have a track with a crazy a cappella like this one, you can chop bits of vocals here and there and have really a ton of fun. But first of all, why don't we just go back in time? House. And what's up, guys? Quelle heure il est là? Il est 16h30. Il est bien trop tôt pour cette histoire, mon frère. Faut pas aller se coucher là. Hey Frenchies, go to bed. Habstrakt ASMR, bro, you know it. So I'm gonna show you the original demo that was that my homie sent me. Zach Gray is a writer and producer, and he sent me a song. He didn't know what to do with it, and I was like, "Give me just the vocals, and I'll make something with it." And it was fun because the original has nothing to do with the song, and it's cool. I love it. Yeah.
Feeling in the home, having, but I know something that I miss. I won't feel alone when you hear you hold me close.
Washing machine cousin, tu le sais. Ha 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 ha, bi.
And everyone to know, never really know you. Everyone I know, feeling close, it feels like home.
Yep, there we go. And what I did was I had this loop that I made on my modular synth that you can see over here. You see this big old boy. That's a modular synth here, and and I like to jam on it, and I've got an arpeggiator on it, which means I can just send a series of notes that repeat themselves. In that case, you dun 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 dun, and I record long sessions of that I would chop into either loops or really one note, one hit sounds, and this was one of them. I don't know, and when the original version of the vocal is kind of happy, and I wanted to make. There's always a way to find darkness in something. There's always a way to flip something into like something crazy dark, and that's my mission, boys. This is what we do here.
I won't feel alone when you hear you hold me close and feeling like I did. Everyone's alone, never really know.
So then I put a bunch of filters and reverb and delays, and I called my homie Drake on it. I was like, "How do you have the spice, the sauce?" And he was like, "You just put a filter on it." Yeah, like so. Filter with an LFO, and you just increase the amount or decrease the amount, and just automate all those lovely little boys up and down, and you just and then the magic was this guy, the Jupiter signature from what's his name?
I won't feel alone when you hear you hold me close and feeling like I did.
Jupiter signature. That's a great VST from Arturia. Arturia is a French company. They make amazing synthesizers, amazing hardware synthesizers, and amazing VSTs as well. And this is great. I basically just use the presets and really rare. Habby uses a preset. Can I see like people offended in the chat or what? And I use the preset and I put a bunch of reverb on it.
Everyone's alone, never really know you.
And what adds again to this track is the ambiences in the back. So a bunch of gunshots with different, each of them resampled with a different low pass filter on it will give you sounds like. These are just gunshots, you know? Reverb and delay. They resample your perks. Again, more reverb and delay, and filters do everything. A bunch of that super famous splice sample pack that I'm not gonna name. Tons of noise and drums and reverb, and let's go, yeah. Drums. There we go. And yeah, chop the vocals at pitch it down a lot. And what's cool about those vocals is when a singer is just as great as my homie Zach Gray is so talented, he doesn't really change his vocals, tunes them up on the like, you know, process them, vocal them, anything. And you have some great materials that you can put like minus semitones here, and it's just still gonna sound great.
Everyone's alone.
You know, and then you can
Everyone.
pitch them high as well. Y'a le Gabba. Oh là là, c'est Gabba. Shout out to my homie Gabba Music all the way from France. I can't believe the Frenchies are not in bed right now. Isn't like the police send you boys to bed right now or something? The po-po-po-po. Ooh, ooh! Habstrakt ASMR. I love that one. I should totally make an ASMR show, guys. I could make a modular ASMR show. That would be great. 3 hours of just making like a drone, like ooh, like I have an amazing reverb over there, and I could just patch all my synths in there. I could be like the Bob Ross of like EDM drone audio painting. Okay, I'm getting lost. What do you want to see more about that sample? Do you have any specific sounds that you want to hear on this one? See, back more elements in the back. There's really a lot of them going on here. There's a lot of really one shots and drums, and I like to solo stuff sometimes together and just get like Quarantine all the way, les fraîchis sont là. Wesh, Linky Music, ça va ou quoi? Je suis là, Thomas Homie Faubourg. Sasha, I swear to God, bro, I'd make a great EDM Bob Ross. It'd be amazing. I'd be drawing little skulls on my iPad at night and everything. Like, oh, put some candles and stuff. Man. Ah, I love this guy here. Ah, that's another trick I'm going to show you there. I was kind of looping in and montre-moi comment t'as fait péter la sub bass, the sub bass. Oh yeah. I said it was a preset. I didn't show you which one. It's in the title here, but let me see. It's called Hip Hop Sub Bass. On shout out to Office Piccoli. I am terrible at pronouncing those names. This is gonna be amazing. I love that. You guys are gonna mess with me in my French accent. Hip Hop Sub Bass. It is a lifesaver, my friends. It's an instrument rack in the bass preset. You just go to your instrument sections on your Ableton and you tap Hip Hop Sub Bass, and you have this little boy here, and boy here, thick boy, like my homie Jaws would say. Do you duck 1K everything in the mix? No, more 500. You'll see. Like you saw on the plus vers le sud, Montpellier. Shout out to my homie Norship. Shout out to all the Frenchies. Shout out to Officer Pickle in the house. Shout out to Mr. Phantom. Woo! Mais oui, Sasha. It is a great sub bass. It's just great. So you could literally take anything, EQ the low end, remove the, you know, using an EQ like I've done on this boy here somewhere. I haven't. Kind of surprised that I didn't. Probably did it before resampling. There. See this shape here that removes the low end of a sound. You would put down your on any synth, and then you would put a layer with this hip hop sub bass here. And it's got a lot of like little knobs that you can mess around with, like it's got a little attack you can put. You can have some tones and overtones, some distortions on it. But I just like it really natural like that. To me, just a perfect sine wave, super clean. And there's not much process on it. It's literally just a limiter to make it really loud, a compressor, and after that I EQ. This is kind of interesting what I do, but I don't know many people do that. but I will AQ remove the high frequencies just in case. Sometimes you get some clicks with your compressor, and you get some clicks with your limits. And also, if I limit super loud but AQ after, it allows me to squash it super loud, and it's gonna go like all those like artifacts and distortion. And then EQing this just makes me remove it. Life is beautiful. Where is it? Not life, just the sound I'm trying to listen. I haven't found the. Oh, it's not that noticeable when you turn it off. A little bit, some artifacts on the higher note. Yeah, it just keeps things nice and tidy. And that's, yes, I sidechain it twice. Once here and once there in the group. And yes, this filter that I've used on the second drop, someone said that earlier. This one little filter here. So the new Ableton update has a really cool filter here that's called the morph filter, I believe it's called. Yeah, morph filter, yep. And you can automate the morph knob here, so you can take any sound like I've done here. On this one here, which is the same bass as above. Layered twice, bunch of chorus and everything, but it's that filter that does everything. Without the filter, it's just all those groups here put together in a chain here, basically. So it didn't have to like have three more channels. What you can do sometimes is like you can group all of this. See, you can add a channel here, and you can add literally the content of another channel like this. So you can just hover over it when you maintain it, and then boom, and those channels are just that, and you do a mix here rather than having two channels here. You would just have one, and it's all. So you'll see me stack sometimes stuff just out of either laziness or convenience. I'll call that convenience. It's maybe laziness, or maybe I'm not sure what I'm doing. But this is cool. This filter here is great because you can let me show you on like something pretty dramatic. The filter, and you put this guy here, the morph, and you can. And that's just like those guys knew what we were gonna do with it. Like they knew that bunch of producers was gonna make drum and bass races with that, and thank you for that. Cool. Ah non, c'est pas chocolatine chez nous. Ah non, 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 le pain au chocolat. Le pain au chocolat. Exactement, faut pas trop surcharger, faut pas trop EQ. Yo, all the Frenchies are taking over the chat. I love that, and also I'm sorry guys, but this is Happy in the house. I never come alone, everywhere I go. Yo, it's only Frenchies in the chat. Okay, qu'est-ce que vous voulez savoir? What do you guys want to know? Ask me some question. Keep me, because otherwise I will just talk about. God, I have no idea. Merci, Matcha. Chocolatine, non, Sacha. Sacha, non, 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 c'est gang pain au chocolat ici. C'est pas possible. Oh, there's a sound that I really love in this track. Actually, is here. And again, just to show you the power of shout out to my homie Asteo 600. Nice. Funny stories, the Sasha vibe, bro. I don't know, like. What I love about Sasha, like I said earlier, is that he's one of the only boys that I really have here sometimes at most parties that speaks French and understands French, so we can be at a party where like there's 1,000 people. This one time we were at a Slender show in the Palladium, and you know, it's so cool because we could talk, literally him and I have a full-on private conversation in front of everyone. It's in French, and nobody's able to understand what we're talking about. So I don't know, every time I see Sasha, we have those amazing moments that are just funny. Comment tu balances tes volumes EQ tes subs avec tes hauts, t'as assuré que ton kick et ta sub dominent toujours sur les hauts sans tomber sur le cercle vicieux de l'abysmal EQ. Oh oui. Moi je balance à l'oreille en vrai. En vrai j'ai pas vraiment de règles. Shout out to my boy. But yeah, this one sound comes from a modular over there as well. It's literally just a bunch of sounds. It's just a very simple sine wave, but it's put through this distortion. That sounds very gritty and Daft Punky, and this is the original sound was. See, sample straight from the modular, I get those little notes. And then if you like mess it up again, you can add tons of stuff. Tuner to make sure it was in the right key. Chorus for the stereo. Effect, delay, same again. Like the technique I showed earlier about how to add stereo on a resound using a delay. That's just very short. It even has a feedback of 0, which is actually just gonna bounce once and no bounce, you know. So it's gonna go pop. Isn't that sick? Ableton Reverb, first of all, erosion is great. It adds that really great grittiness to things sometimes, but it's also gonna mess up your mix. So don't put that when you have hi-hats playing, because it's just mess up everything. A little cherry on the top, you know. Stereo image is amazing. What's the best way to get good at producing fast? I like to set myself those little challenge where I'll just make a beat every like 30 minutes, you know. I'll switch up and just I'll set up a day where I'll be like I'm gonna start 6 to 10 30 minutes beats ID, and every 30 minutes you set up a little timer and you just switch up and you kind of like train yourself to be fast and go straight to the point. This project is kind of complex, and I'm gonna switch to real now, and I'm gonna show you that like sometimes the simpler the idea, but real is still, as I went with time, and I'm still going to that phase, but I have less and less channels in my tracks, and you're gonna see that with real. Are you guys following Habby's house already? I'm all new to this chat thing. How does that work if I type? Pew. Nope. And we should be good for real now. There we go. So real was made 6 months later. Oh, actually, 90 channels. Okay. But again, a lot of them is gonna be. I know. Well, a lot of them are gonna be. They're gonna be affixes and background elements. Straight up, there's at least like 20 channels of just that, for sure. Did you guys recognize the shoutouts on this melody? Sounds like Tail Squad, yeah bro. Okay, I know this project looks really, really scary. But trust me, it's not that. It's 70% of it is little FX and blips and reverb sounds. And then there's not many main elements when you listen to the song. There's just every element has a ton of layers. Starting with the intro bass, which is this guy here. Which is this guy. It's a little sample from Splice, just a house one, and then it's got layers, just to very basic synth of just a filter on top of the same race is operated as Infinite before. Hello. Cartouche celle-là. Cartouche. Celle-là, elle cartouche. Frère, j'adore cette expression. T'es de chez moi, toi, quoi? Oh, I like that. Same thing. Layer your stack your stuff as groups, so you can then have like, you can apply overdrive to like 3 at once, and you can just group them together, which you'll see. I've grouped them again, but these are 2 layers here, and both of them have their chains of amp is, oh no, amp's off. Okay, let's go away. Chorus and reverb, it's really good. OTT, saturator's off. Why is everything off? So my projects are chaotic. But the cool reason I grouped everything together is that I can apply those kind of effect rack, like this guy that I've made here was called a mix maker, and it allows me to have a low pass filter, a high pass filter, a mix to a reverb. I'm barely using it actually, but so it allows you to process all at once, have the sidechain on everything, re-EQ them together. Same thing, I'm gonna put 5, 6, 7 EQs. Habstrakt est français. Ah ouais, Boba Fett, tu croyais quoi? Nash XBL, est-ce qu'il y a une raison à ça? Pas vraiment, parce qu'on bossait chacun dans notre piole. L'avantage que j'avais, c'est d'être dans un endroit où je pouvais travailler plus souvent et passer plus de temps à faire ma recherche que je kiffe. Et ouais, dès lors que tu me laisses geeker, je peux aller vite. Where is that little reverb? Ah, remember when I put the washout on the master earlier? This time I did something different. On the sidechain thing over there, that has the shaper box. Remember the shaper box? Little thing here that has the MIDI automation, so every time we have a MIDI hit, it's gonna trigger this guy. Does he actually? See? So I've put the reverb on the intro and the build up on this guy here. So the drums don't have a reverb or anything on the build up, they just keep going and going and going, but the rest, everything else in the song, because everything else is going to be sent to the sidechain bus, so the drum kind of stays static. You only have this one. You only have this little snare that here brings some. Sasha gets so pissed off in the chat. Sasha's like, I should be playing my video games. I shouldn't be here right now. How do you set up a sidechain bus? Oh, I invite you to watch this great tutorial by my homie Barely Alive. It's called Barely Alive Volume Shaper tutorial on YouTube, and it's great. In 2 minutes he explains you how to set it up, and I've seen so many different tutorials, but his is so simple, short, efficient, and just well explained. Go to that one, it's great. Norship, ouais, c'est peut-être pas le moment là pour savoir, hein. On sait pas trop en fait là. Pour l'instant, je sors pas de chez moi, hein, frère. J'adore tous les Français dans le chat, je vous aime. Vous faites trop plaisir la famille. Grave plaisir. Okay, the bass, Happy, show us the bass! No? The bass is the same thing as I showed you earlier, those kind of weird sounds from the modular, and this one, I love this one. Show in browser, boom. The one browser that you guys can't see because I'm so sneaky. Am I? Can you? You cannot. Ouais, le vrai, l'été est annulé. Bon, ouais, y a moyen, frère. On va dire ça comme ça. So again, in all those modular sessions that I do, but you can do that with Serum or Operator. I always have an audio channel in the back that records a bunch of random signal, and then I'll chop them and I'll keep the little beats that I like the most in this one. It's pretty much a distortion just going really crazy with an LFO, so let's see. It is literally not the way you would think of a sound being made. Like those conventional being like, oh, you gotta use FM from B and this super secret technique of... Sometimes it's a lot simpler than that, and you will get a nice bass sound and a filter. But you would just overdrive the freak out of it. Then you would add another one. That's even better. And you know, just make those sounds like that, resample them, have a bunch of them, keep my favorites, and then throw them back into a sampler. And this guy is the same as the rest of the song, just edit with more filters and automation, so I'll get back to it in a second. But this boy here then is the main bass. Whew, there's a lot going on. So again, tuner to make sure I'm in the right key. Any pitch bend? No, no pitch bend. First an EQ. Let's turn everything off and see what happens. Sound by sound by sound. How you guys feeling? It's Abby in the house. I'm sorry, I'm probably less sharp and receptive as my stream yesterday. I haven't slept much. On va tous bercer les gars, exactement frère. Tu vas rester à la maison, tu vas bosser, bosser. How long did it take for you to finish making this track? Infinite was like maybe a week of work. Real took a little more, maybe 2 weeks. Now I'm trying to be like, if it takes more than 3-4 days, it's just not worth it. At least to write the song, then finish it takes a bit longer. Shout out to my homie Carter. Volume Shaper and LFO tool, both a great tool for sidechain. Yes, again, Volume Shaper, LFO tool, Kickstart, even Ableton's compressor are great for sidechain. Anything you like. There are so many ways to do it. You'll see that I've actually done it twice. I think there's a compressor here. Yeah, I don't know if it's active or not, but I like to send 2 sidechains, one to really have a complete ducking and kind of different, a double kind of envelope release. One's going to be short and one's going to be long. So you have the transient that has the short and then really kind of manage to have a visual image of those 2 envelopes mixing, and you know. So see, that's with all the process. So the cool thing about sampler, first of all, is that once you put a sound in there, you can like make notes with it. And can I get an octave on the Moog? Boom. You can have a pitch envelope, so let's turn off the filter. You hear that? That's the pitch envelope in the sampler. So you can have a little pitch envelope here and turn the amount. By default is going to be 0. And what this is going to do here is going to send that little that message to the pitch of the sound for a duration that is set by your decay in that case. So you can have a see, I have a short one. I just hit it like without that. It's kind of like, so I like sometimes to have something sharp, even though this one's going to be sidechain and eventually we won't hear the attack. I like to have the option because sometimes I want to trigger a note when there's no sidechain and you want to hear, you know, the kind of transient thing can come out when it's not being hit by the kick and the rest of the time will be masked. So it's cool to have the option without having to create another channel. Smart thinking. Said absolutely nobody. This looked like smart thinking to you now. The filter's great on those things as well. I mean, you know, and you have an LFO that's really powerful. You can map to the pitch like I did here. Oh, that's why it sounds a bit wonky. It's mapped to the pitch. See? But just a little bit, just 4%. And then the filter. So we can, and that's just it really. An EQ again to remove kind of the center. The delay trick again. Now it's on the sides. Overdrive, the good old amp, formidable distortion amp from Ableton and Softube. Don't forget to turn up the dual mode for stereo crispiness. Shout out to Monster Cat for helping me in the chat because I'm not the best at keeping up. Steven had that. Shout out to my homie Steven. You got the Teamstruct in the house. Chorus. Again, more stereo. More overdrive. Reverb. Voilà la room again, really short, you know. 7%, 0.2 seconds of decay. More EQ. I love the EQ mid-side mode, so you can turn your mode here. Mid-side, you can see that I boosted the sides here. To kind of have some more like OTT, the good old infamous. Do I need to introduce OTT? Do we still do? No, but there's a cool trick about OTT. Try using it with the time at 1000%. It kind of cancels the old way effects reverb and makes everything. It kind of, look. That's the OTT we all know with 100% by default. But no, those little parasites and noise, if you put it to 1000, it just doesn't happen. They get shut down at least, you know. Erosion again, saturator. And see, this is where you have your kick. And what I was telling you about, sometimes you still wanna have a transient on those kind of sounds. Is that sometimes you want to note that this one, if I put another note here, it's not gonna be affected by the kick, for example, but you're still gonna. So you're gonna hear the transient pop through. See what I mean? The same organ as before is used as a layer on this guy. So that really adds a lot of harmonies. Another EQ here to scoop what the organ is bringing. Ah ouais, j'ai déjà joué à Montréal, les gars. Les gars, je le sais. I'm just here for happy dancing. My boy Lowdown. Shout out to the Australian scene in the house. Tu sais, il y a MTP dans la house aussi, frère. And then the same as before, I duplicated the same one and I messed it up. And Jafak, shout out to my homie Jafak for the chair. And I duplicated this boy that was here. Different process, but it's kind of the same, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is the same chain. It's just at the end I probably added, yes, I boosted the amount of erosion. So it's really like really saturated. And I used an equality that I showed you earlier. Now what I use for my layers, I remove the low end and the high end, and I just keep that little fraction of the sound that I want to keep, that little niche here. Otherwise it'd be like this. Like the same, but with just more of the erosion signal, so I just duplicated it. And that's all. The sub is an 808, literally. Same thing with an EQ to remove all the brightness. I put an overdrive on it to have some harmonics and saturators, so you kind of like have more, you sounded better. I'm just gonna put it like that. Shout out to my homie DJ Carnage. It just made it like louder, you know, and then you see, that's cool as well. But in that case, I realized I didn't need all that information in my sub. I just needed the low end to just go nicely sit here. And all those guys grouped together, get compressed. Literally a preset from the, that's great, from the glue compressor on Ableton. The bass punch and parallel preset, great. Equality, again, to remove. This is where this one is cool because you can mirror it with this guy. Boom. That's the EQ on my sub and that's the EQ on my bass. They're pretty much, you know. That's a cool view. You can see what's, you know. And there was this one sound that I was trying to remake earlier, this guy, because again it's frozen. And I made this one project, like I just overrode everything, and I was silly and I didn't save as, which is the one thing that I tell everyone to do and I didn't. And this guy is pretty easy to remake. It's kind of crazy, like how much you can make again with those Ableton inbuilt effects. I mean, look at this. For example, I tried to remake it on Serum earlier. So I used, can I get Serum in the house? Mama ce bœuf. Hello Colleen, yo, my girl from south of France is in the house. Brof. Ouais, Nash, j'avoue un peu tu crains là. Un peu de respect pour la MIFA là, il se passe quoi là? C'est Rome. Okay, we hyped? We gotta respect the shit out of each other, ouais. Vous allez finir par vous aimer les uns les autres, bordel de merde. Why can I hear reverb on this? Do you hear it too? Oh yeah. Okay, maybe I'm just tripping. Ah. So first one would be Serum. Oscillator 1. You could just stack 2 oscillators and one of them would be basic shape. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you take one oscillator low, the same one 2 octaves higher, so this one's -2, this one's 0. Add a sub. Ah, that's why it sounds crazy, the volume is like crazy cracked up. Actually, yeah, make a red here, you see? If it's red here, it sounds good. That's a trick for my boy Haptic. Shout out to my boy Haptic. Oh, Cloakin, les gars, non! Non! Non, on peut pas faire ça, pas encore. Non, non, le respect, il est où, là? Some white noise. And then same recipe. You're just gonna torture your signal. And what was I doing on this? It was late at night, and you know. Overdrive. That good old trick to add stereo on the delay. OTG. play it easy. It's just a bunch of sine waves. So sometimes I'm like, there's so many different ways to make sound design. You can really use the synthesis way, full on, like gonna learn deep down how to use this synthesizer, or you can just literally stack up distortions and effects and choruses and delays and see what happens as well. Let me put some AC in the house. Sorry boys, I can't see you right now. I love my little connected house with the little fans and everything. Boom. Now we're Gucci. New music for EDC. New music actually way before that, my friend. Way before that. I really want to show you the background elements on this track because, like you said, the bass is not that crazy. What's really cool on this one is what happens at the back. So let's mute the bass. Let's mute the sub. Again, I always preach a very simple drum, so in that case it was about having this just perfect loop. That was just this. Again, a little hat. This is really simple. It's a loop from Splice, or hat I guess. And you can mess around with, you know, the transpose, the pitch and everything, resample it as you want, and then you can add some other sounds and support. I like to group. This was a one shot that I grouped myself as this big group as a loop, so I can just use it as a loop like that and extend it instead of having go in detail and duplicate and everything. Sometimes you will see me have those big things that are loops, but actually I just make them myself as I go. Like I'll find a couple sounds, I'll be like, oh, this is cool, and then you go like Command G, consolidating, and then you have a thing, and you can have it as a loop, and you can just extend that one loop. You see the little marker here, that like when your loop ends, and you know. And yeah, very simple drum. If your drum isn't bouncy with just a very simple one hat, one kick, one snare, and one maybe like this, there's an offbeat percussion here. There's some layering on the snare, but that one offbeat percussion is bringing so much into the mix. Two different little drums on the offbeat, so you kind of like, you can turn off your grid and try to place them. And like before, really short claps and snares. First one, my little white noise, and then one that's smaller. I like this one. For that case, I wanted something a bit more rock and roll. You know, I kind of wanted a little more fainting vibe on the snare, a bit more punk. You know. And the kick drum is called. Oh, hey! Shout out to my boy Chris Lake for the kick drum. This is the kick that I stole from I Want You from Chris Lake. Shout out to my homie Chris. It's literally called I Want You kick. Sorry, Chris. Lol. It's a great kick drum. PSA, I do not encourage anyone to steal and to do those bad boy things, but you know. Sorry, Chris. Love you, bro. Do you kick? So same thing on the kick. It's in a simpler, which allows me to like, let's say I had this kick. The cool thing about the simpler is that I can just, if my kick is cool but something's lacking, I could add a layer for the transient and everything. But I could go to the pitch here first of all, and I could increase this guy here and shorten the decay, and apply a bit of a. So it's kind of like gonna pitch just the section that's here, you know. So see, I can change the transient of it. And you can change the transpose if that suddenly my pitch is like too low, my kick is too low. You know, you can have it how you want it. And that's the cool thing about that. And you can also go and drag and drop another kick drum anytime you want in your song, and just try it while you're playing the song. work? I don't know. Let's find a kick drum. See? Boom. You can just replace it. Let's see. You see, I know it's gonna work. It's kind of yeah. You have to be really picky on your drum sounds. Otherwise, most of them will come from splice. And again, the big thing of this track is this group here. So again, what I said before, you'll take a little sample that you find cool, like sort of ha, you know, just put a reverb and delay. I like to freeze that so it doesn't bother me too much. Then find little tons of little blip blip. Little sounds like that. Video games are cool for that. Video games sample packs and crie pas comme ça, tonton. Bah si. Tonton écrit, il a le micro très fort, tonton. Make a song in 10 minutes. There is no way I can make a song in 10 minutes. Do you tune your kick to a different note in the scale? No, if you ask me that in the way that, like, do you actually use a tuner to make sure your kick is in F when your song is in F? No. But do I pitch up and down my kick until I find a sweet spot that sounds good to my ears? Yes. So in a way, yes, I tune all my drum elements, all my snare, hats, and kicks, and I'm gonna fine tune them up and down like every FX and but pretty much like everything else in the song. But I'm not sure if they're in the right key. They could be completely off key, but I will. Again, that's why I love sampler, is because you can do that if you want. You can turn transpose and detune. You see here, I've messed around -1, plus 32 semitones. So I really went precise into finding this little sweet spot, you know. What do you automate on the utility effect? That would be volume, for sure. Yeah, there's no automation on this guy. Why is it? Sorry. Yes, volume. There's a great advantage about using utility for volume automation rather than using the fader. It's because you if you automate the fader like this, like so, and then you want to change your volume, you would have to drag up and down your entire automation. You will lose your automation. It's kind of annoying. One cool trick that I always use is having this little guy in the back. And this with the hat, you got your vibe already here. Which brings me to one of my favorite sounds in this track, and I think I love to have sounds that I'm going to use again and again. This one, it's a screaming from the horror movies with tons of reverb on it. And it just adds to the vibe so well. Let me put the sub as well. You hear how much FX there's going on in the back. Those guys as well. Those guys here. Those guys. Little gun sound here as well. Really cool gun sound. There's so much going on. Do you have any questions? Any specific sounds in the track you want to hear? Burn. I love you and miss you, Happy. I know. What are blips? Little blips are like, for example, this is a little blip, a little pew 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 pew. This is a dub FX, so like it comes from a reggae dub sample pack. So again, splice for that is amazing. The power of keywords. I will say this very often, and just search as many different words and keywords of like blip, zap, fx, you know, and as you can on things like Splice, and you'll find so many good. See the little guy like that? He adds a little pickety-pickety. See another ninja sound of like. Make a collab with Moxie, I would love that. Tu coupes tes basses à combien de hertz? C'est pas une question de hertz, c'est-à-dire que je vais pas te dire je le fais à 100 et je le ferai à 100 tous les morceaux. Je le fais vraiment à l'oreille. C'est-à-dire que là dans le cas présent, je vais te montrer. I'm gonna show you where I cut, where I low pass my bass. It literally, there's no like, oh, you have to low pass at 250 hertz with me, anything. I have a rule, I just look at it with an analyzer. So this EQ has an analyzer, the one from Ableton has one as well, ProQ has one. But this is my sub. You can clearly see that the sub was here, right? You could see that it goes up and then and down, you see? So first, you know, you just straight up gonna EQ, at least this chunk is gonna go. And I'm gonna listen to it and see what happens and how bright it is. I'm just gonna listen to it until I don't hear the sub anymore. See? So there's no... Tu me fais entendre des sons que j'ai jamais entendus dans le track. It's saying in French, I'm hearing sounds that I've never noticed in the track. That's a big thing in my production, is that a lot of things are hidden at the back. But if I remove them, the song is gonna be so... Let me show you, actually. Good demonstration. Because you have all of this happening at the back, for example. Okay, but what if I mute all that and we just play the song without it? You see, something's missing clearly. Let me play it again with everything. BPM is 125, and the one before was I think 125, 126 as well. I like it a bit slower than Oh, can you show second drop? Good catch, my bro. Good catch, my brother. I want to show you second drop, and I want to show you how I made the intro as well. Before I leave the stream back to my homies at Monster Cat. Again, shout out to Monster Cat for having me today. This is fun. The second drop was really cool. It was one of the last thing I made on the song. So there's a lot going on here in a very, very short amount of time, and that's pretty... So it's the same pre-drop as before, so I duplicated my channel. That's the one that was the main baseline that you see here, and the same thing for the first here for the fake drop. I like to duplicate because I can add tons of automation. I don't have to worry about is everything going to go back correctly in time when this drops. I just duplicate the channel, mess it up, and I don't have to worry. This one will stay intact. It will sound the way I want it to. This guy, boy, there's a ton of thing happening here. Resonator's great for that metallic effect. See those kind of sound, and then you have low pass filter, high pass filter, reverb. This is a mix for a reverb, so it's basically a Valhalla home, and it's mapped to the mix. automation, and LFO autopan. If you put the phase to 0, it will be an LFO on the volume, which allows you to have those little stutter on things. Then the bass is the same one pretty much. It's just another the same duplicated, just modified a little bit, you know. And what I did on this one is that I automated the starting point, so it's not always going to start at the same part of the sample. See, sometimes the start point is going to change, and then it's getting really heavily sidechained by the kick. That's why you hear the boom, bruh, boom, bruh. But it's the same bass as earlier. And then I had to add some hats that were a bit different for this one. This is why I love Impulse. You can put a bunch of Vengeance, Essential House samples into a thing like that, and you can make a loop. Simpler is great because it allows you to give time command and transpose command over all those sounds at once. So you can have it really short, transpose. So it's kind of like having a loop, an audio loop, but you have control over what's inside and the content, and that's really cool for those because I could just improvise my stuff like that with a snare. Again, it has to be a splice. That's a splice snare for sure. That has to be a shout out to my boy Virtual Riot. Clap, 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 clap. So it's pretty simple. Again, when you look at it, there's a kick, a snare, and then a clap that goes faster. Clap, clap. Tons of reverb again, automation on reverb. Here and there that comes and goes. If you want to use a lot of reverb, you want to automate them in and out. You don't want to have them all the time, you know. And I use this really old school trick from like my OG dubstep days when I was a big fan of like Roscoe and Flux Pavilion and everything, and they would always have those little guys, and I love that. And you can set those up pretty easily using any synthesizer you want. Sorry, one command, any synthesizer you want. I'll use Serum as well because I know that most of the people here would appreciate Serum more. And you can use a basic shape of a square. So I think it's in basic shapes here. And let's find a square. And then it's all about the MIDI effects. And MIDI effects in that case, you will use the MIDI effect that is called chord and the arpeggiator. And which one goes first again? I'll also use note length. Note length is cool, but it's not necessary for that one. You can write a chord. Chord is a MIDI effect that allows you to like send multiple notes at once. You just pick which semitone you want. So I'll make a minor chord here, for example. And then if you put an arpeggiator on it, really short. So instead of synced here, you put in free mode. And there you have it. You have those little video game blippers, and you put some reverb on it. Boom, and stuff like that. Same concept here. It's just a square wave. See, boom, EQ, delay, reverb. And then there's another one here. That has to. I love to make Dyma songs with just like the 5 minutes of joy with just a happiness, colorless sound, and then a little DJ effects here. Dusk rework. Yep. You know exactly what I'm talking about, bruv. Dusk was an old song of mine. He had a great bass that it's the day I've learned how to make those wrist basses basically, and I made this song called Dusk. And if you can find this song, hit me up and let me know how you like it. It's an old one. Alright. Will you release it? This song is released. It's called Real. It came out on Monster Cat in October. Sasha, was the October? Oh, the one track on the right has a delay. Oh yeah, in addition to that little tutorial that I told you to watch about nothing has delay actually. Yes, you do. The MIDI signal that triggers the sidechain when you use Volume Shaper. You want to sometimes mess around and have a couple milliseconds hit earlier, so that it removes the click. That's one of the tricks that I found. I don't know how to explain that, but it makes this transition happen before the actual songs that you're trying to remove hit. So it brings this here, basically. This thing that's there brings it here, and it's really convenient. So sometimes I'll when there's too much click in my session, I'll put a little millisecond delay on this. November 28th. Damn. Sasha, my boy. I remember the Youngly remix I did. Yeah, the Paris days, man. Tu stream quand sur ta chaîne alors Montpellier-Rennes? Je vais venir bientôt, cousin. Bah, déjà, on a Contrebande TV. Je t'invite à suivre Contrebande TV avec Bassstreak et Asdeck. C'est le gros homie, c'est les gros homies les deux. On fait des démo reviews, on fait des jeux vidéo, on trip, on fait plein de musique ensemble. On s'aide bien, c'est cool. Suivez ça, on fait les streams le matin. Maintenant que j'ai la chaîne Habstrakt Live aussi, je vais en faire plein. The vocals. I didn't even talk about the vocals on this one in the intro. I really like the intro. The vocals just come from an acapella that I managed to chop.
Still keeping it real, they keeping it real, they keep it still keeping it real, they keep it still keeping it real, they keep it.
And it's got a bunch of process on it. It's got some saturation.
Still keeping it real, they keeping it real. Still keeping it real, they keep it.
Yeah, this is 40 times more complicated than rap beats. That is for sure. Rap beats are like easier. Oh my boy, Alert Music in the house. Everyone make some noise for my buddy Alert Music. Bro, I miss you. Not enough process there. You know it. Alert is like me. He like processes his stuff like crazy. How's the dog look? How's the doggo doing? How you guys doing? Now, Keeping It Real sample is from a song from Jamal called Fades Them All. And what I love about this song is the intro as well. The last song I'm going to show you is this, the intro. And it comes from that VST called Equator that you can get when you buy the Rolly C-Ball, which is it's in storage over there, but it's a big keyboard that allows you to have 5D pressure points. You probably saw videos of that. You can like slide your fingers across the keyboard, and it comes with a VST that's great for some design as well. And this VST comes with a ton of like really cool. It has a great sample. It's kind of like a serum with 3 oscillators, 2 filters, 2 samplers, and you can get some really, really cool sounds. Very. So I'll mess around with that, and that stutter effect that I showed you earlier, really cool for that as well. Amp from Ableton, the soft chip will turn anything into a banger. Check this out. get some crazy textures. Not enough process. I love that. We're doing good. Sasha here. Yeah, so Alert Music has a dog called Sasha with a S. So that do not make the mistake and call Sasha for Monster Cat with a S. Sasha, S-A-C-H-A. I know it gets very sensitive about it. Is that Black Sabbath? It is a pure homage to them. Yes, it is, my friend. Good catch. I literally, I was wondering if someone would ever catch up to it and notice. And it is, my friend. Good catch. And see that LF1 volume like that? That's what gives that western kind of vibe. It's just... Sasha, sit down, whoa, chill, dude. So yeah, to wrap this up, do not underestimate the power of FX background elements, but don't put too much of them as well. Be careful what you put reverb on, be careful what you drone too much. Control your environments. You'll see me freeze a lot of stuff that allows me to have control over those little tails here and there when I really don't want them. I'll fade out, even though, you know, there's always going to be some little blips and sound residues here and there. So once you put a lot of stuff like me, freeze them. You see I froze everything here so I could cut the tails of some reverb. Those little... If you zoom in, even these I forgot to remove. You see those little guy? You can remove all those guys. What's called a freeze tails. And those are great. There's a great option that you can freeze and remove the tails. Because sometimes you just need the actual initial sound, but the tail are not even necessary. Sometimes you realize you freeze and you're better off without it. In a clear space. But yeah, working on your ambiences and textures comes through. It involves a lot of layering. You can create those really complex ambiences by, you know, creating those situational, like contextual kind of rooms where like all the reverbs are the same dimension for those kind of objects, and those are like come from a different room, different elements. Some are very dry, like my drums, always super dry, no reverb. But then you have those textures that have a 6-second reverb, like they're from the jungle, you know. I love to put some insects in vinyl nose as well. You know, that's a cool thing to do. How you guys doing? Is Ableton the only DAW you use? Yes, brother. Yes, it is. It has been for a very long time now. That's pretty much about it for today, boys. How you guys feel? I had to take those headphones for a second. They are crushing my ears. Do you have any question on anything else in music? Can I help you with anything? Moitié humain, moitié violon, je sais pas comment l'exprimer. Le process de ce one shot. Je pense que tu parles du cri. It's just a reverb. It's a scream with a reverb. Ah, with tons of reverb on it. That part sounded sinister. Yep. Show us the one. Maybe on another stream, my friend. I could show you that on another stream. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That's me. I'm gonna say hi in the chat right now. And yeah, give me a follow, give me a shout out. I've got some content you can watch on my channel as well from a song that I made yesterday. And there's gonna be more insight on, you know, sound design, drums, terrible French jokes and pounds, and yeah. Can I play some music in the house? Oh yeah, I know exactly what to play.